Good morning, good afternoon everyone. My name is Bhaskar Sharma and welcome you to my YouTube channel Bhaskar Blockchain Technology. Friends, I have over 10 plus years of professional experience and working as a in a multinational company. Currently, I worked as a Azure data engineer where I focus on designing, building and optimizing data pipelines that enable organizations to transform raw data into a meaningful business insight. Throughout my career, I have worked with various data technologies and I have gained experience in data integrations, data processing, data warehousing, and cloud based solutions. Friends, I am passionate about leveraging modern platform to create scalable and efficient data ecosystems. Today, I will be presenting an introduction to Azure Data Engineering fundamentals. We will explore the core Azure services used for data ingestions, storage, processing, orchestration, and analytics, along with a typical end-to-end Azure data pipeline architecture. Friends, I hope these sessions provide you with a strong foundation in Azure data engineering and helps you understand how these services work together to deliver business values. Thank you, friends, and let's get started. So, friends, our topic is today Azure Data Engineer basic tutorial. Okay, so who is an Azure Data Engineer? First question is, who is a Azure Data Engineer and what is their role and responsibility? Okay, first you have to understand this. So an Azure Data Engineer is responsible for basically designing, building, securing and maintaining data solutions on the Microsoft Azure cloud platform. Okay, that is very important to know. The primary goal of a data engineer is to ensure that data is available, reliable, scalable, and accessible for business users, analysts, and data scientists. Okay, so what is the key responsibility of a data engineer? First is collect data from multiple sources such as database, applications, IoT service, APIs, and log files. Next is design data pipelines to move data efficiently between systems. Third point is transform raw data into clean, structured and usable format. Okay. Fourth point is store data in appropriate systems based on performance, cost and business requirement. Fifth point is monitor data pipelines and optimize performance. Sixth point is implement data security, governance and compliance standard. So these are the key responsibility. Now friends, we will see what is the key skills. Key skills. To become a data engineer, you should have these skills. Okay. First, SQL and database concept. Database concept. Okay. Next is data modeling. Data modeling and ELT or ETL, both are same only techniques. Okay. So next is cloud computing fundamentals. Cloud computing fundamentals. Next is Python, Scala or Spark. Python, Scala or Spark. Next is data integrations and orchestration. Data integrations and orchestration. orchestrations. Okay, next is data warehousing concept. Data warehousing concept. So Azure data engineer work closely with data analyst, data scientist and business stakeholders, solution architect and DevOps team. Just remember this one. Okay, so guys, going to this presentation now. So next is what Azure data platform overview. So Azure data engineer ecosystems provide a complete set of services that support the entire data life cycle. Okay, and this life cycle consists of the 5 phases. First is data sources, ingestions, storage, processing and analytics. Okay, so what is Azure offer specialized services for each stage. Okay, so data source basically include enterprise applications, relational database, IoT devices, web applications, social media platform and streaming platform. Okay, so major Azure services like Azure Data Factory for data movement, Azure Event Hub for real-time ingestions, and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 for scalable storage. Okay, next Azure Databricks for big data processing, Azure Synapse Analytics for analytics and data warehousing, and Power BI for reporting and visualization. So the Azure ecosystem support both batch processing and the real-time streaming workload. Okay. So next is data ingestion services. So data ingestion is the process of collecting data from various sources and moving it into Azure. There are two primary ingestion patterns like batch ingestions and real-time ingestions. Okay. So what is like batch ingestions? In batch ingestions, just a minute. Batch ingestions, batch ingestion. So batch ingestions, data ingestion is the process of batch data ingestions. Data is collected at scheduled intervals, okay, such as hourly or daily. Okay, so examples like daily sales report, okay, daily sales report, or monthly financial data, monthly financial data. Okay, next is customer master data, customer master data. So batch ingestion, data is collected at scheduled interval. Just remember that point. Okay, data is collected at scheduled interval such as hourly or daily. Okay, so data ingestion services, data ingestion is the process of collecting data from various sources and moving it into Azure. Okay, just remember this point. And next point is like real-time ingestion, real-time ingestion. So in the real-time ingestions, data is captured and processed continuously. See, in batch ingestion, what you did, data is collected at scheduled interval. Okay, but in real-time ingestions, data is captured and processed continuously. For examples like you can say website clickstream, okay. Next sensor data, okay. So next is that application log. Sorry, application log. Okay. So key Azure ingestion services like Azure Data Factory. Okay, so here I'm going to presentations. Key Azure ingestion services is Azure Data Factory ADF, which generally create and schedule data pipelines. Next is Azure Event Hub, stream real-time events. Azure IoT Hub, collect IoT device data. Azure Logic Apps, connect applications and automate workflows. Okay, so guys, ADF is a Azure Data Factory is a cloud-based ETL or ELT orchestration services which generally connect to more than 100 data sources. Okay, and it supports scheduling and automations, provide low-code pipeline development. And Azure Data Event Hubs is a high throughput event streaming platform. It ingests millions of events per second, commonly used for telemetry and log data. Azure IoT Hub securely connect IoT device to Azure, enables device to cloud communications. Next is Azure Logic Apps, automates workflows across application and services and useful for event-driven integrations. Okay. So next is data storage services. Okay, this is also very important. So storage is the foundation of every data platform. Okay, so Azure offers multiple storage options based on the data structure, access pattern and performance requirement. So Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, ADLS Gen 2. Okay, it is a storage account. Okay, ADLS Gen 2. It is a central repository for structured and unstructured data. It supports hierarchical namespace. It optimizes for analytics workload. It is a cost effective for large scale storage. Okay. So it is a central data repository. Okay. Next is Azure Blob Storage. It is a object storage for files and media. Okay, store files, images, backup and documents, and it is suitable for object storage scenarios. Okay, next is Azure SQL Database. It is a relational data storage. It manages relational database services, ideal for transactional applications, and it supports SQL queries and reporting. Next is Azure Cosmos DB, globally distributed NoSQL database. Okay, so it globally distributed for NoSQL database and support multiple APIs and data models, and it delivers low latency performance worldwide. Okay, and storage selection factor is data volume, data structure, query requirements, cost considerations and performance need. Okay. So guys, moving to the next, data processing services. So these are the basic services for data processing. Okay, so data processing transform raw data into a meaningful informations, and processing can involve cleansing, filtering, aggregations, enrichment and data transformations. Okay, so these are the basic points you should remember. Just a minute. So data processing services. What are the data processing services? First we say cleanse, cleansing, filtering. Next is aggregations, enrichment. Next is data transformation. Okay, so Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks, what is Azure Databricks? Apache Spark based analytics platform. Okay. So Azure Databricks is a Apache Spark based analytics platform. It supports Python, SQL, Scala and R. It is ideal for large scale data processing and it integrates seamlessly with ADLS Gen 2. Okay, just remember that. Next is Azure Synapse Analytics. It is a data warehousing and analytics. So combines data warehousing and big data analytics. It supports SQL and Spark workloads and it's enable unified analytics experiences. Then next is Azure SD Insight. It's a managed Hadoop ecosystems. Okay, so it managed open source analytics services. It support Hadoop, Hive, Kafka and Spark. Azure Functions serverless data processing. Okay, so Azure Functions, it is a serverless compute service. So serverless compute service. So it execute event driven processing task. Okay, so last is Azure Function. It is a serverless data processing. Okay, so this is the some typical Azure data pipelines. So source, ADF, ADLS Gen 2, Databricks, Synapse and Power BI. So data first is what happened here. See, this diagram illustrates how data flows through an Azure data platform. Okay, step by step explanations I'll give you. That first one is source. So data originate from source systems such as databases, APIs, applications and IoT devices. Okay, next is Azure Data Factory. Extract and move data into Azure. Third is like ADLS Gen 2 stores raw data centrally. Okay, next is Databricks process and transform the data. Next is Azure Synapse Analytics enable querying and analytical workload. Okay, our last is Power BI. So what will do Power BI? Power BI creates dashboard and reports for business users. Okay, so key benefits are like I can say key benefits. Scalability, then flexibility, cost optimizations, next centralized governance and faster insight. Okay, faster insight. So next point, orchestration and monitoring. Okay, so orchestrations coordinate multiple tasks within a data pipelines. Okay, so monitoring ensure that data pipelines operate reliably. Okay, so Azure Data Factory orchestration features pipeline scheduling, workflow dependencies, trigger based executions and parameterized pipeline. Okay, just remember this point. Then monitoring capabilities, pipeline run history, then execution status tracking, then failure alerts and performance metrics. So Azure Monitor provides centralized monitoring across Azure services. Okay, then log analytics. What is the log analytics? Log analytics collect and analyze operational data. Okay, these are the few things. Use Azure Data Factory to orchestrate workflows, schedule based and real-time pipelines, monitor pipelines execution and failures, and implement alert using Azure Monitor and log analytics. Okay, so next point is recommendation, learning part and certifications. So learned data fundamentals, learn SQL and data modeling fundamentals, understand Azure storage services, practice building pipelines using the Azure Data Factory, learn Spark with Azure Databricks, and prepare for Microsoft DP certifications. Okay, so learn data fundamentals. So learn data fundamentals. In the learn data fundamentals, just a second. So learn data fundamentals. What we have to learn: SQL, then database concept, the database concept. So I'll teach you everything. Then data warehousing, warehousing, then data modeling, okay. Then understand of cloud fundamental. What do we have to understand about the cloud fundamental? Like resource groups, cloud fundamental, it is a data fundamental. This is the data fundamental. Okay, so this is the data fundamental, and this is the cloud fundamental. Cloud means resource group. Next is virtual network, storage account, and identify and access management. Okay, and next is like develops hands-on project. Practice building pipelines using the Azure Data Factory. Okay, so master Azure Data Services, Azure Data Factory, ADF, Azure Data Factory, then ADLS Zen 2, okay. So Azure Databricks, ADB, Azure Synapse Analytics, okay, Azure Synapse. So next is develop hands-on project. Like build an ETL pipeline, build an ETL pipeline, process streaming data, okay, and next is create a reporting dashboard, okay. So this is the develop hands-on project. Next is learn governance and security. So governance and security, like Azure Monitor, role-based access control, RBAC, Microsoft Purview, okay, Microsoft Purview. Okay, last is prepare for certifications. Okay, guys, see. So prepare for certification. Prepare for certification. Like Microsoft certified Azure fundamental AZ 900. Okay, so DP 900. Okay, this is Azure data fundamentals, and one more is there, Azure data engineering associate DP 203. I think DP 203 is decommissioned now. Okay, so focus area on DP 203 is data storage design, data integrations, data transformations, security and monitoring part, and performance optimizations. So guys, I am stopping here today. Thank you for watching this video. In today's session, we explored the fundamental of Azure data engineering and gained an understanding of how organizations build their modern scalable data platforms on Microsoft Azure. We discussed the role and responsibility of an Azure data engineer, reviewed the Azure data ecosystems, and explored key services for data ingestions, storage and processing. We also walked through a typical end-to-end Azure data pipelines architecture, covering how data moves from source system through Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lakehouse Gen 2, Azure Databricks, Azure Synapse Analytics, and finally to reporting tools such as Power BI. Additionally, we covered orchestration and monitoring concept along with a recommended learning path and certification guidance for aspiring Azure data engineers. I hope this video has given you a solid foundations to begin or advance your journey in Azure data engineering. If you found this content helpful, please support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and sharing with your friends and colleagues, and leaving your questions or feedback in the comment sections below. Don't forget to subscribe to Bhaskar Blockchain Technology and hit the notification bell icon so you never miss our latest videos on Azure, data engineering, cloud technologies and career guidance. Your support motivates us to create more valuable content and helps our community grow. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.